Hello everybody, I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees, and in today's episode, we're giving you guys an update on an injury situation right now. Tommy Kahnle, the right-handed veteran reliever, has been activated off the IL officially, according to the Yankees earlier today. The right-hander has not pitched this season, but last year was excellent for the Yankees, posting a 2.66 ERA and striking out 29.1% of batters faced. Everyone knows him for his excellent changeup, and he added a sinker last year to go alongside his four-seam fastball, but now we're seeing him add a little bit of a slider. It's something he's talked about utilizing a little bit more prior to this season and prior to him being placed in the IL. And in the rehab outings, we got to see a little bit of that slider. He threw 4 of them. He got a whiff on every single one of them. It is a sharp gyro slider. It does not have a lot of horizontal movement in terms of like a sweeper. Averaging around 5 to 6 inches of horizontal break. It's at 87.3 miles per hour, but because Tommy Kahnle gets really downhill, it actually has an 88.5 perceived mile per hour velocity, which is really damn good. It's a sharp slider. It's got good movement. Paired with, obviously, his power fastball sitting 95, 94. The extension plays it up closer to 96. And, of course, that elite changeup, a pitch that's always been his best offering. He's going to have a very complete arsenal. It's no longer just going to be throwing about 70 to 80% changeups, hopefully. And while it wasn't a problem for him last year, it did definitely result in some inconsistencies because batters were able to start sitting on that pitch. And when they can sit on your changeup, there's no longer any deception there. It's just a slower fastball. And, batters can tee up and try to pull that pitch to the pull side in the air, and that's really devastating because pulled contact in the air usually results in home runs and extra base hits. So getting through his rehab outings, he was brilliant. He pitched in 5 innings. He faced the minimum, 15 batters. No double plays required. No picking off guys required. He just pitched, just faced 15 batters and utterly dominated. He didn't allow a single hit, a single walk, a single base runner. He struck out 11 batters. Obviously, he didn't walk any because he didn't allow any base runners. Pitched to a 0.00 ERA. You know you're going to get ground balls. You know you're going to get strikeouts. Those are the 2 things you can expect for Tommy Kahnle. Unfortunately, that has also come with some home runs. Last year, he had a 1.11 home run per 9. But for the most part, he is a really, really damn good reliever. When looking at what projections they expect for him in the 2024 season, Steer projects 40 innings with a 3.53 ERA and a 3.66 FIP. In terms of strikeouts, they expect him to strike out 44 batters and allow 4 home runs. That is an even 1.00 home runs per 9. So they expect a little bit of positive regression there, although they do expect a dip in the strikeout rate. But ultimately, I think anybody would be happy with that production. Last year, Kahnle was really damn good, 2.66 ERA, a 2.86 expected ERA. We're looking at his win probability added at plus 0.61. He was a positive reliever in terms of high leverage situations and did come through for the Yankees in some big spots. Looking at the back end of the Yankee bullpen right now, there are a lot of guys that you kind of want to avoid, right? Like, you don't want to throw Michael Tonkin in a big spot. I know Clayton Andrews is no longer on the roster. He was optioned as the corresponding move, but he was on the roster yesterday, and he was one of the guys that had to bring in because of their lack of bullpen depth due to some of the injuries. Looking at, even a guy like a Caleb Ferguson or Victor Gonzalez, they aren't your number 1 options in big spots. You can go down the list. Like, once you get past Clay Holmes and Luke Weaver, the list of Yankee relievers you want to throw in high leverage shrinks very quickly. Nick Birdie has been pretty effective for the most part, but he does have some erratic command. It can be a problem with runners on base. Dennis Santana has not pitched well. He got off to a decent start, but in recent outings, it has not gone well for him. Obviously, Caleb Ferguson has just not gotten it rolling after a really good year with the Dodgers last year. Victor Gonzalez has been a good ERA pitcher, but the underlying metrics aren't as good, and Aaron Boone has not really relied on him in some big-time situations, potentially indicating that he doesn't view Gonzalez as a high-leverage reliever, and he's justified in feeling that way. He only has an 8.6% strikeout rate and a 13.8% walk rate. That's just not going to cut it. But looking at the rest of this bullpen depth chart, there is just not a ton of high leverage options, and having Kahnle back will certainly help in that regard. Some other guys that have been kind of chugging along in terms of their rehabs, Scott Efros was expected to take to face live batters in the near future, although we don't have any updates on that. JT Brubacher has already been facing live batters. That was confirmed by the fact that he faced DJ LeMahieu earlier last week. And then Garrett Cole obviously throwing the live bullpen yesterday, threw 20 pitches, hit 96 miles per hour on the radar gun, did not feel any pain, felt pretty good. So you can expect that when he comes back, you can move one of your starters to the bullpen. It would just make sense for it to be Luis Seal because of the innings limit, but from the way he's been pitching, it's pretty hard to look at him as somebody you should not have in your rotation. Nestor Cortez, he's been the guy that I think everyone's kind of looked at as the worst starter on the Yankees, but he does bring something super valuable, and that's volume. The Yankees have been able to kind of save their bullpen in his starts, even when he doesn't pitch particularly well. Of course, he's been excellent at home, awful on the road. Carlos Rodon and Marcus Stroman have guaranteed money. I doubt the Yankees will transfer them into bullpen roles. And then Clark Schmidt has pitched really well as well. He's probably the guy that, behind Luis Seal, would have been seen as the most likely candidate to go to the bullpen because he does not have committed money to him or guaranteed money to him, and he actually has experience as a reliever at the major league level, but he and Heel have just pitched so well, it's pretty hard to justify moving either out of the rotation. It'll be an interesting conversation. I'm sure that, injuries could crop up. There could be some guys who get hurt, get banged up, and that could cause the Yankees to have to move one of, their stars out of their rotation just onto the IL and open a spot for Garrett Cole. And then looking at the immediate depth chart, they had Clayton Beeter as one of their projected, depth starters, but he's currently on the IL with a shoulder issue. Cody Poteet is probably their most likely guy to come up if there were to be an injury, and he could also help in the bullpen because he just kind of has some really solid stuff. Cody Morris is another guy the Yankees had called him up, and I don't think they pitched him in any of his outings, but in the bullpen, he has done a pretty solid job in AAA with the Scranton Royal Riders. Through 20 and two-third innings, he has a 1.31 ERA and a 32.6% strikeout rate, 0.87 home runs per 9. He has looked really good. And then obviously Ron Marinaccio, he came up and after really struggling last year, has really been a nice bullpen option for the Yankees at the major league level. In AAA, he had pitched pretty well. I don't know if he's pitched there since coming down, but there he has a 1.08 ERA, a 30% strikeout rate, a 3% walk rate. At the major league level, a 1.49 ERA, 21.0% strikeout rate, and a 10.9% walk rate. So, looking at the Yankees bullpen depth chart right now, it's a numbers game. They're not going to, call up Marinaccio and DFA somebody and lose them for nothing. They need bodies right now. They don't particularly have anybody outside of Hamilton on the way soon. And I'm sure as they structure their bullpen throughout the season, they'll find ways to either add guys at the deadline, or of course, with Garrett Cole coming back, they could reinforce their bullpen there. With that being said, though, let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. You guys can check us out at Fireside Yankees on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and of course this YouTube page. You can follow me at Ryan Garcia ESM on Twitter. And of course, you guys can check out EmpireSportsMedia.com for all of your favorite New York sports content. We've got you guys written coverage all over the place. You guys can see us in our next episode. We've got something special coming out for you guys later today. I'm not going to spoil anything, but we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.
Perfect.